When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? Like, who can come in and fill this void? Like, oh my God, somebody. I have got to be able to sit with someone and feel a part of what I felt with him.
No member of her family, whether on the mother's side or the father's side, reached out to me. And the only person I actually reached out to was her mom, and she didn't respond. And so I essentially sent her a text message. I said this was a $5 million rehab project that I took on.
Women have a hard time taking responsibility. We have a hard time being shown ourselves. And I've come to realize that women are very, very prideful. Like, men have egos, but women are very prideful. And the reason why we have a hard time being shown who we are is because the opposite of pride is shame. And we don't want to feel that shame because it is very painful. But let me tell you something. You have nothing to be shameful about simply because you're imperfect. We are all imperfect. One of the best gifts you can give your husband is when he says, babe, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I see in you. This is where you can improve. This is the adjustments I think that you can make, is to sit back and think about it and then say, you know what, babe, I can see where I could do better in that area.
I'm sorry for making you feel that way. I don't want you to feel that way, right? Eat it, because that's going to give you the relationship you're actually fighting for.
That's why I say when you get to a certain point, dog, when you built yourself up to a certain point, a woman got to show improve to make me move, dog. I'm talking about she got to show improve. She has to. There ain't no woman that I'm going to ever sit and be like, you so bad, you so sexy, you so fine that I'm just going to make you mine. You ain't got to do nothing. I'm going to give you a life that you want. Shit. Not me. It don't matter where she from. You know what I'm saying? I ain't lying. She can be a virgin, a neurosurgeon, or a broad that's on OnlyFans and like splurging. It don't matter to me. I don't care. I'm not finna do that because I don't know if she respects the work that I put in. And a woman like Porsha Williams don't respect that work. Tell us the truth! Now, let's get into it.
Lonely. I can't connect with other men. You know, it's like people trying to introduce me, but it's just when it's not the same, it's not the same. So I'm going to do it different this time. I'm going to be alone until I'm whole. And then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again. When you go through a bad enough breakup, you're like, I don't like nobody. Like, you're like, I don't like nobody. I was sitting there, I was like, do I like women enough? Can I get with a woman? Like, who can come in and fill this void? Like, oh my God, somebody. I have got to be able to sit with someone and feel a part of what I felt with him. But I don't yet. It'll come.
Let me tell y'all something, man. When you hear a woman talking like this, first she says she can't connect with other men. We'll get into the story later about why she can't connect with other men, because their divorce proceeding and the settlement and all of that is ongoing. She ain't trying to connect with other men. She don't need to connect with other men. She need to keep playing the role like she the good wife.
So I'm whole. And then when I'm whole, then I will, open myself back up so I don't make the same mistake again. But I don't yet. It'll come. It'll come. But I'm like, and I think that now that I'm realizing that, because what I've decided is that I'm not going to look for it anymore. So I'm not going to push myself into dating or anyone or trying to figure out, who do I like? Who could I be around? Because this is probably also part of healing. I mean, just sitting with this, sitting with being alone, sitting with the loss, and let myself heal the loss. And I know I'm crying right now, but I feel good every day, each day. I get better each day. I feel stronger. But I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard living lonely when you have to live lonely for a while.
I said to her in one of my text messages to her, because she didn't respond because I kept asking her, why did you file for divorce? And she wouldn't say anything. I tried to reach her mom. Her mom would not respond either. I later figured out this felt like a coup. You know, when you when I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm familiar. You know, I say it because I'm from Nigeria, and that we were ruled at one point by the military, and so every so often when you want to change leadership, the president, you stage a coup.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
A gold digger can't be built up with feelings. She can't be built up with motivation. She can't be built up with adulation. She can only be built up with money. She needs to show up with paper. She needs to show up with a Bentley. She needs to show up with a mansion. She needs to show up with jewelry. She needs to show up with the finest designers. She needs to show up with $1,000 weave or a $2,000 wig. She needs to show up with all of these things because that's her only value. Her only value is what she can physically present to the world, because spiritually, morally, mentally, emotionally, she's a black hole.
I was totally blindsided. She never shared her concerns or issues with me before filing for divorce. If you're married, I've been married quite a bit. I think I understand a little bit about the dynamics of, I should understand a little bit about the dynamics of a relationship. You discuss issues and say, hey, if this does not change or something does not happen, this is what might come of it.
Mhm.
We never had those discussions, and I'm happy to share with you text messages where I was essentially blindsided by the divorce filing.
I was actually going to ask you if this was something that you saw coming, if conversations had been had prior. What do you think what do you think Portia's reason was to file for divorce?
I think I was targeted from day one for financial reasons. When I filed for divorce from my previous, ex-wife, she was in my DM praying for me. And I think I was in a vulnerable position at that time, and I entertained it. And so it just kind of snowballed from there. Getting engaged in 30 days, I mean, who does that?
A simp. That's who does it.
I was out of my 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 goddamn mind
Yep.
to have done that, and of course I'm paying dearly for it.
Wow. That brings me to my next topic. There was some reports stating that the judge overseeing your divorce case has upheld the prenup that you guys signed before entering marriage. Um, are you able to share a little bit about what those terms are or look like?
That you receive $40,000 a month in alimony for the length of the marriage, which was 14 months. She gets to stay in the house, all expenses paid, including the mortgage, through for 36 months, up to 36 months. And if she chooses to own the home, she would have to refinance the property in her name and take a 50% equity. She would have to give me 50% equity in the home.
Wow. What is your reaction to that ruling and that decision?
It's basically what I've held from day one about this case. When I realized that I was targeted, I've had prenups in previous relationship, and I've honored those prenups without reservation. This time around, I've chosen to challenge in court all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. This enforcement of the prenup is going to continue to receive legal challenges on the appeal front.
This is why a woman is not being alone. She's not being alone by choice. She's been alone by force. She said it. I got to be by myself. I got to be alone because I just got to be alone for a while. I don't want to. Yeah, you got to be alone for a while because this man right here in divorce court fighting it. So you got to play the good wife for as long as he fight it. I hope it take 8 years. You understand me? I hope she got to stay in that situation for 8 years because when you're a gold digger, when the bottom fall out, you deserve what you get out of that.
Okay, so you're vowing to appeal this decision for sure.
1000% is going to be appealed.
One of the things that has recently kind of come out is that Portia said she paid child support for your children while you were in ICE
Y'all listen
custody.
to this.
What is your reaction to that?
She sent her two $2,500 payments in 1 month, and that was it. That didn't even necessarily cover anything.
Here's a woman publicly saying, probably in tears,
I paid his child support while he was in high school 2 months. I took care of his other kids while he was in 2 months. He still do me like this.
that's why I keep my gators on a woman's neck. She gonna be too busy doing the next thing to be talking about, well, I did this for him and blah, blah, blah. She gonna be so invested out. I'm not having no woman in my life who can't do shit.
I heard for the first time in court that had happened, and I immediately texted my ex-wife asking her, did she receive any funds from Porsha? She said yes. Porsha reached out to her and offered to give those funds to her. In my opinion, it was not. It wasn't done in good faith. It was done to give a narrative in court or to the public that I paid Simon's um, I paid Simon's child support.
Did Portia have a relationship with this son of yours that she sent his mother money for?
Not particularly. My boys were with were with me for the last 5+ years. They've been with me 1 week on, 1 week off. And quite frankly, my kids don't care who daddy's married to or who daddy's dating. And she never developed any particular relationship with my kids. They came as they came and we all did family things together, but there's not one particular child that she has a personal relationship with.
Do you feel that you have a relationship with her daughter?
Now I want y'all to listen to this part. This is why I tell men, be aware of locking in with single moms. Not that single moms are bad people. They phenomenal instructors, phenomenal teachers, phenomenal traffic cops, phenomenal Starbucks baristas, phenomenal gym attendants, phenomenal daycare workers, phenomenal, well, you name it, phenomenal hairstylists, phenomenal interviewers. Look at her. She's doing a phenomenal interview right here. They're phenomenal in a bunch of ways, but the one way they're not phenomenal is putting you first before they kid by another man. Y'all peep game.
I don't have a relationship with her daughter simply because I've in the past I found myself where when I separate from any of my exes with children, there's a tendency for them to use their children to get back at me, to come, to try to come back into my life. And Portia is no exception. She sent me a text telling me that her daughter misses me, and I didn't respond because there was a concerted effort at some point that she realized she had made a mistake and wanted to reconcile. At that point, I was done.
I want y'all to understand that a woman who has a child, she wants to use that child for one of two ways. Once you're emotionally locked in with that child, she wants to be able to use that child like it's your child, even if y'all break up. Well, like he said, my daughter misses you. He didn't even respond. Another way that a woman with a child will use you after a relationship or try to use the child is she will try to keep you in the situation of responsibility that you were in with the child. You understand? And then when that doesn't happen, she'll paint the image that you're a bad parent, even though it's not your child now. She'll paint the image of you that you're a bad parent, not telling her child, well, especially if mommy messed up like Porsha did. Porsha filed for divorce. Instead of telling your child, Well, mommy didn't think about you. I made the decision that was better for me. And I went on ahead. Now, Simon being in your life, that was contingent on me and Simon being together. You can't believe that Simon is supposed to be a part of your life when we're not together anymore. They won't even tell their kid that. They'll let their kid grow up thinking, planting that seed in their head that you abandoned them, when in actuality, the woman made the decision. And that's why you have to be aware, dog, because women are crafty. Once a woman can wrap her mind around the concept that something is true and is beneficial to her and it's the right thing, and she can't figure out any reason, she ain't gonna figure out a reason. She ain't logical. And she can't figure out a logical reason to challenge what she thinking in her mind, that shit becomes fact. And she tells it to everyone who's willing to listen. And so that's what we're dealing with in this situation. You can't provide and protect for a hood rat. And hood rats come in all shapes and sizes. You understand? But you can't provide and protect for a hood rat. It just doesn't work. And when you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to do that, it's going to end badly. You're going to be Simon, or you're going to be Will Smith, or you're going to be Russell Wilson, or you're going to be whatever, bro. I want y'all to think about something. Think about it. You must protect everything that you have built, because a woman who didn't help build it is coming in to steal it. You understand me? When you build it, you got to wield it like a weapon. You don't put it out there like a prize for the broad. And I'm telling you, the gold digger energy of woman, there's two kind of gold diggers, man. I'll tell y'all this. There's the financial gold digger, and there's the emotional gold digger. Now, here's what happened with the financial gold digger. We see this. This is Porsha Williams. The emotional gold digger is the one who makes her own money, and she just need a man to come in and fill whatever voice she think need to be filled. That's the woman who's okay with you being Mr. Mom. You understand? It's an emotional imbalance for you to be Mr. Mom. It becomes a hormonal struggle within you. When you become Mr. Mom, your estrogen is trying to shoot through the roof. Got to be Mr. Mom. You got to be more caring and sharing and staring and pairing. You got to be all of that to be Mr. Mom. So your testosterone is saying, now, wait a minute now. We still got to slide on this woman. We still got to slide in. So your testosterone and estrogen are battling like that because you spend your days as Mr. Mom, and then you're supposed to spend your life, your nights as the Savage Packer. It don't work, dog. It don't work. And so at the moment you buy the lie that a woman is selling you, bruh, it's over for you. And Simon is an example of that. When you buy her lies, it's over for you. Y'all better stop dealing with these low-level, low-quality women. A hood rat should only be able to deal with a YN hood ninja. You understand me? If she's a hood rat, she should be left to those who like hood rats. Don't you fall for that, man. Don't you fall for it. Especially if you're a man that's not in control of your emotion, you know you're going to fall in love. Don't do it, bruh. You got to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Respect yourself enough to know your weaknesses. You did? Know your weaknesses, man, and don't challenge them. Don't challenge your weaknesses, man. Don't put yourself in a situation you know you can't recover from. Don't do it to yourself, brothers. We're going to slide on out of here, man. Peace.